Manchester United injury update. Mainoo, Alejandro Garnacho and Yoro latest news and return dates. Under fire, Erik Ten Hag is sweating on the fitness of several key Red Devils players ahead of Brentford clash. Manchester United return to Premier League action at the weekend as they welcome Brentford to Old Trafford, and Erik Ten Hag could be boosted by the availability of several key first-team players. The Red Devils go into the game on the back of a goalless draw away at Aston Villa, leaving them 14th in the table. Prior to the international break, a window which saw Alejandro Garnacho, Mainoo and Noussair Mazraoui all withdraw from duty with their respective nations. Subsequently, the trio joined long-term absentees Yoro and Tyrell Malaysia in the treatment room, whilst fellow defender Harry Maguire is a fitness concern after limping off at Villa Park. Mason Mount and Amad Diallo also stayed behind during the international break, but the good news is they, along with Luke Shaw, who has not featured for United since February, appear to be on track to return against Brentford. With that said, here is all the latest Man United injury news and potential return dates as a reunion with former manager Jose Mourinho, as well as a massive showdown with Chelsea await in the upcoming weeks. Yoro. Man United's big money summer signing from Lille is yet to make a competitive appearance for the club, having been sidelined since July as a result of sustaining a metatarsal injury during the pre-season friendly against Arsenal in the United States. Following successful surgery, the 18-year-old is making good progress in his recovery, although Saturday's game against the Bees comes too soon for a return. Yes, he is doing very well, Ten Hag said before the 3-0 defeat at the hands of Tottenham Hotspur. It is very pleasing that his rehab is going in the right direction and I expect him soon, but what I mean by soon is that he is now in the right planning process. He is in the right spot and he will return as soon as possible into the squad and then the team training. Potential return date unknown. Tyrell Malaysia. Cast your mind back to the final day of the 2022/23 Premier League season. That's the last time Tyrell Malaysia featured for Manchester United, as a knee injury sidelined the Dutchman for the entirety of last season. Much like Yoro, the left back is progressing well, and when speaking last month, Ten Hag was very optimistic of soon having his compatriot available for selection. Of course, we want to motivate him to return, but it's not so easy when you are so long away, he said. Over a season now from an injury to return, but he's working very hard, he's progressing really well in this moment. He's making big steps, so we think at short notice we can expect him in the team training, and he is a talent, it's natural. I expect also soon he can return into games then. Potential return date unknown. Noussair Mazraoui. Summer signing Noussair Mazraoui withdrew from the Morocco squad for the double-header against Central African Republic after undergoing a minor precautionary corrective procedure after experiencing palpitations. The hope is that the full-back will be back in action at some time next month, with his international head coach Walid Regragui already looking ahead to the November international break. Noussair Mazraoui is not suffering from a dangerous illness, he said. We hope he will be with us in the next camp in November. Potential return date November. Mason Mount. It's safe to say Mason Mount has desperately been unlucky with injuries ever since arriving at Old Trafford from Chelsea in the 2023 summer transfer window. A head injury suffered late on in the 3-0 home defeat by Tottenham has seen the midfielder sit out the last two games against Aston Villa and Porto, which comes hot on the heels after returning from a calf problem. If available for selection at the weekend, a place amongst the substitutes may await Mount, considering Bruno Fernandes, Manuel Ugarte and Christian Eriksen are options at Ten Hag's disposal. Potential return date October 19th vs Brentford. Alejandro Garnacho. Despite playing the full 90 minutes against Aston Villa last time out, Alejandro Garnacho had to withdraw from the Argentina squad as a result of a knee injury. The winger then took to social media to confirm the knock, but also to hint at a swift return to action. I had knee problems in the last two matches, and I won't be able to be with the national team, he wrote on Instagram. But I hope to recover so I can be on the next date against Paraguay and Peru in November. Potential return date October 19th vs Brentford. Amad Diallo. A bright spark in an otherwise underwhelming start to the season for Man United. Amad Diallo was an unused substitute against Aston Villa, but returned to Carrington earlier than expected during the international break for medical monitoring. The Ivorian Football Federation informs the press and the public that the player Amad Diallo arrived in group on Monday, October 7, 2024, as part of the third and fourth days of the CAN qualifiers Morocco 2025, is declared forfeit for health reasons. The Ivorian Football Federation wrote in a statement, "To do this, the Man United striker returns to his club for medical monitoring this Wednesday, October 9, 2024. It's looking likely that Diallo will be available for selection on Saturday, battling Garnacho, Marcus Rashford, Antony for a starting berth on the flanks. Potential return date October 19th vs Brentford." Harry Maguire. The former Man United captain was forced off at the end of the first half against Villa and has already taken to social media to reveal he will be sidelined for a few weeks, which means he's likely to be targeting a return to the fold before the end of the year. "Frustrated to pick up an injury at the weekend. Will be a few weeks on the sidelines for me, but I'll come back stronger," he stated on Instagram. Potential return date November or December. Mainoo. Last week, Mainoo withdrew from the England squad as a precaution following a knock sustained against Aston Villa and its touch, and go as to whether he will be fit for the visit of the Bees. Potential return date unknown.